All right, Kyle, one of the absolute standards of this program since you've been here since, well, 2018 when Fred Warner got here was that you could just put Fred Warner's name in the lineup and not have to worry about him. Now, after the injury on Sunday, just what's your mindset as far as trying to get past that and try to make the most out of this season?
I mean, it was tough. It's something that you don't expect because, it hasn't happened to him before. There's been a couple of times I've been worried. I've seen him on the ground a couple of times and everyone's nervous, and then he's popped back up and ended up being fine the next week. So I was hoping that would be the case when he was laying there, but then I saw it on the scoreboard and knew quickly it wasn't. But yeah, it was depressing. I mean, it was for him, it was for us, all our fans, everybody. That was tough. I remember getting on that plane and being so upset about the loss, so upset about Fred, and I remember watching the game the whole time, and I saw it through such a negative light because just where I was at, and right when I was done with it, I was like, all right, I need to watch that again and kind of not look at it through that way. Let me see what else I can see. And I made a big deal about this with the team on Wednesday. I actually explained this to them of what I went through on the plane, and when I was done with it, I was like, all right, I'm watching this again. I don't want to look it through the eyes of we lost Fred and how much that hurts. Let me watch it through everything else. And I collected about 10 plays in that game that included all these guys that are new and how well they were playing. And I looked at those plays, and it really did inspire me. I started to get excited about some of the guys that we have, not just next man up, but I think we have some really good players who have been playing well. And yeah, it's tough without Fred. It's really tough without Bosa. But these guys that are playing, these young guys that people speak of, they're playing at a high level. And I really wanted to show them those clips, how much it inspired me on the plane. And I think they saw it, our whole team saw it. It wasn't just defense, it was offense, special teams, everybody. And then I kind of talked about how when you're like that, we have the guys who are good enough to do it. Now, let me tell you guys, I feel like this same group gave up 5 plays for 200 yards and 14 points. And what happened on those 5 plays? I don't think no one got beat on them. We made mistakes. And there's lots of things that happen in an NFL game. That's why it's so tough to play when you're young. Someone like Fred with all that experience and getting people lined up, there are less mistakes. And I'm trying to make the emphasis of, guys, we don't have to turn yourself into something you're not. You guys are good enough, and you're going to keep getting better. But we have to become mature and not counting on a veteran to do that type of stuff. We got to make sure we don't make those mistakes. And there's one way to do that: walk through the day. Wednesday's practice, Thursday's practice, Friday's practice, and how deliberate can we be in that stuff? Because I do believe we got some really talented guys who can play at a very high level. But they have to go through this, and that's how you do get good. And when I was done with that, I go, you guys want to see, I showed all these plays, and then I turned on Fred's first game versus Minnesota in 2018. And I showed all his clips from that game. And it wasn't what you would think. He had no dreads. He was wearing number 48, had no swag, did not look like totally Fred Warner. And I was like, and then it was right after I showed them your guys' game, and I go, guys, I'd be dead wrong, but if I just watched this game versus Tampa and Fred's first game versus Minnesota, I'm probably going with you guys over Fred. Now, that would have been a mistake. We all know Fred is going to be a Hall of Famer and how good he is, but you guys should know that how good you guys can be too. And Fred got his opportunity early. We had a first-round pick who lost his job, 1 injury at first, and then 2 just messing up, and we had to get him off the team, and that's how Fred got his opportunity. Now a lot of you guys are getting yours now, but you're starting where Fred did. What are you guys going to do with it? And Fred did that because of how he worked each day and what he became and how great he is, and all those guys have that opportunity too. But it doesn't just happen. You got to put the work in.